Welcome to the Deep Dive, where we cut through the noise and give you the clearest, most actionable insights into today's most fascinating topics.
That's the goal.
Today, we're plunging headfirst into one of the most exciting, maybe often debated, frontiers of online business, how artificial intelligence and automation are, well, radically reshaping the world of affiliate marketing.
It's a huge topic right now.
Absolutely. We've got a fascinating stack of sources, from a real-world case study showing some pretty explosive growth to academic insights and some critical industry perspectives, too.
Yeah, good miss.
Our mission today is really to give you a clear, actionable understanding of where AI truly fits into this, rapidly evolving landscape.
Hmm.
We want to reveal not just the massive opportunities, but also the critical risks and, importantly, the ethical considerations you absolutely need to be aware of.
That's right. Think of this as your shortcut, maybe, to being incredibly well-informed on this fast-moving space.
Exactly.
If you've ever wondered how people are building and selling online businesses at, like, warp speed, or how AI is moving beyond just, writing text to impacting entire business models and revenue streams, you're in for some serious aha moments today.
Yeah, I think so too. We're going to try and balance the incredible statistics we've seen with the practical realities on the ground, and also some thought-provoking questions that, frankly, challenge the very future of online content.
Sounds good. Let's dive in.
Okay, so before we get totally swept away by the hype and, the incredible potential of AI, let's ground ourselves a bit in the basics.
Good idea.
What is affiliate marketing, really,
Yeah.
at its core? And maybe why has this particular corner of the internet become such fertile ground for AI disruption?
Right. So essentially, it's an internet-based practice where a business rewards partners, the affiliates, for bringing in visitors or customers.
Okay.
Typically, it's for a commission. It's really a performance-based marketing channel.
Meaning you only pay if it works.
Exactly. Affiliates only get paid when a specific action happens. That could be a sale, maybe a lead, something tangible that's successfully completed.
Right. And it's super popular, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, wildly popular. Because, for businesses, it's kind of a low-risk, potentially high-reward model to expand their reach. And for individuals or publishers, it's a way to monetize their online presence, their website, their blog, whatever.
Makes sense.
And within this whole ecosystem, there are really four main players interacting to make it all work.
So who are they?
First, you've got the publisher, often just called the affiliate.
Uh-huh.
This is the person or the company. It could be a website, a blog, an app, maybe even a social media influencer that hosts and promotes a brand's products or services.
Their job is to get eyes on the product.
Pretty much. Their main goal is to attract a relevant audience and then steer them towards the advertiser stuff, earning a commission on every successful conversion. They're the content creators, the lead generators, the trust builders.
Got it. Okay, so that's player one. Who's next?
Then you have the advertiser. This
Yeah.
is the actual business or the brand offering the products or services being promoted.
So like Amazon or a software company?
Exactly. Could be a huge e-commerce giant like Amazon, a SaaS company, even a local plumber using affiliates. They're looking to scale their marketing efforts, but maybe without those big upfront costs you see in traditional advertising.
Right, leveraging other people's audiences.
Precisely. Using the reach of potentially countless affiliates to drive sales and brand awareness.
Okay, publisher, advertiser. Number three.
Number three is the network. This is really crucial. It acts as the intermediary connecting the publishers and the advertisers.
The middleman.
Kind of, yeah, but a vital one. They manage the whole affiliate program, handling tracking for clicks and sales, processing payments, and often they provide a whole suite of tools and reports.
Ah, so they provide the infrastructure.
Exactly. Companies like ShareASale or CJ Affiliate are good examples. They streamline what could otherwise be a really complex web of individual agreements between thousands of advertisers and publishers.
Okay, makes sense. And the last player.
And finally, of course, there's the customer, the end user, the person who actually performs the desired action.
Making the purchase, signing up.
Right. Making a purchase, signing up for a newsletter, downloading an app, filling out a form, whatever the advertiser wants, they are the ultimate goal of the entire affiliate marketing chain.
And their journey, I guess, is where things get interesting, especially with AI.
Absolutely. Their journey through all these different touch points is exactly where AI really starts to show its power. So these four players, publisher, advertiser, network, customer, they're all interconnected, each playing a crucial part in the flow of value and information.
And you mentioned publishers. Are they all the same? or are there different types?
Oh, great question. No, they're definitely not all the same. What's really fascinating is the sheer diversity of publishers and how they strategically position themselves within that customer journey we mentioned.
Okay, like what?
Well, take content publishers, for instance. These folks are often seen as the experts in their niche.
The bloggers, the review sites.
Exactly. They build trust by providing engaging stories, really in-depth reviews, educational articles, comprehensive guides, that kind of thing. They're incredibly valuable, especially at the beginning of the customer journey.
When someone's just starting to look around.
Right. When someone is researching a problem or just exploring potential solutions, they don't necessarily push for an immediate sale. Instead, they educate, they build authority, and they subtly guide the customer towards a potential product or service, often without it feeling like a hard sell.
Yeah, they're the ones you trust for unbiased info before you even know what you want to buy.
Precisely. Then, on the other end of the spectrum, you have voucher and cashback publishers.
Ah, the coupon sites.
Yep. These guys are all about immediate gratification, discounts, deals, money back. They're undeniably excellent for driving conversions, for getting that final sale.
But wow, sounds a butt.
Well, yeah. They typically operate at the very end stage of the customer journey, and this can make them a bit controversial for advertisers. Because sometimes they're seen as stealing conversions, meaning they convert customers who were probably going to buy anyway. They just popped over for a last-minute coupon code.
Ah, I see. So the advertiser feels like they're paying a commission for a sale they would have gotten regardless.
Exactly. Or there's the concern that constantly pushing discounts can potentially lower a brand's premium image, essentially training customers to never pay full price. It's that classic tension. Immediate sales versus long-term brand value.
Yeah, that makes sense. How do you value that last click versus the article that planted the seed weeks ago?
It's a huge challenge, and one AI is trying to help solve, as we'll see. But beyond those two, the publisher landscape is incredibly diverse. You've got email publishers, for example.
Start thing, email.
Oh, absolutely. They leverage their subscriber databases, sending out highly targeted newsletters with offers. You might think email's old school, but surveys show a huge majority of people still subscribe to newsletters, often specifically for special deals or insider info. Trust and relevance are obviously key for them. You need good open rates, good click-through rates.
Right, you can't just spam people. What else?
Then there are comparison publishers. Think of the big hotel booking sites, flight comparison engines.
Kayak, Skyscanner, those guys?
Exactly. They use pretty sophisticated algorithms, often AI-powered themselves, to compare offers from tons of different retailers or providers, making it super easy for customers to find the best deal quickly.
Very useful.
And of course, you can't forget the ubiquitous social influencers.
Right. Instagram, TikTok.
All of it. They come in all shapes and sizes, too. You have the connectors with massive networks, the mavens who are respected for their deep expertise in a niche, and the salespeople types who are just really skilled at persuasion.
And where do they fit in the journey?
Often they excel at attracting initial interest. They're frequently at the beginning of the customer journey, sparking that first curiosity about a product or a brand.
So it's really a whole ecosystem. Different players doing different things at different times.
Exactly. It's a rich tapestry of different types of affiliates, each contributing in their own unique way to the overall customer experience, and each offering different kinds of value at different stages.
Okay, so that's affiliate marketing laid out. Now let's shift gears a bit and talk about the tech engine driving all this change. Big data and artificial intelligence.
Right. The powerhouses behind the scenes.
When we talk about big data, it's more than just, well, a lot of data, right?
Absolutely. It's far more than just having a ton of information. IBM famously defined it using its 4 Vs, which really capture the essence.
The 4 Vs. Okay, what are they?
First is volume. This refers to the sheer, just enormous amount of data being generated, stored, and analyzed constantly, every day.
Like, how much are we talking?
We're talking petabytes, exabytes of information. Data sets so massive they completely overwhelm traditional database tools and processing methods. Think about the billions of clicks, searches, social media interactions happening literally every second online.
Wow.
The challenge here isn't just storing it all, it's figuring out effective ways to manage it and actually extract meaningful value from this, frankly, overwhelming quantity.
Okay, volume. What's next?
Next is variety. This means the incredibly diverse formats and sources of that data.
So not just spreadsheets.
Definitely not. It's no longer just neatly structured databases. We're talking unstructured social media posts, raw audio files, video content, sensor data from, Internet of Things devices, email content, web server logs, clickstream data, literally every kind of digital footprint you can imagine.
All sorts of different stuff. Got it. V number 3.
Velocity. This captures the incredible speed at which data is not only generated, but also collected, processed, and importantly, needs to be utilized for timely insights.
So it's coming in fast, and you need to use it fast.
Exactly. In today's markets, things change so quickly. Getting actionable insights from fresh, real-time data can literally make or break a business decision. Think about programmatic advertising bidding or detecting fraud as it happens. You need that speed.
Makes sense. Okay, the last V.
And finally, veracity. This one is arguably the most crucial and honestly often the most overlooked aspect.
Veracity, meaning truthfulness, accuracy.
Precisely. It refers to the quality, accuracy, and reliability of the data because, the old saying holds true. Garbage in, garbage out.
Right.
If the underlying information is flawed, if it's biased, if it's incomplete, then any analysis or any AI model you build on top of it is going to be equally flawed. That leads to bad decisions.
So cleaning the data is key.
Absolutely critical. Ensuring the integrity of the data, weeding out things like fraudulent clicks, outdated user profiles, incorrect product information, that's paramount for any successful AI implementation. You need trustworthy data.
Okay, so that's big data. Volume, variety, velocity, veracity, the fuel, as you said. What about artificial intelligence itself? What are we really talking about here?
Right. So when we talk about AI in the context of affiliate marketing, we're primarily focusing on what's called narrow AI.
Narrow AI, not like Skynet.
Definitely not Skynet, thankfully. No, this isn't the science fiction, sentient, human-level intelligence we see in movies. Narrow AI is programmed to solve very specific problems.
Okay.
It does this by learning, adapting, and improving its performance using the available data. Think of it as a highly specialized tool that gets really, really good at one particular task, and it gets better over time through experience, through seeing more data.
Can you give some everyday examples?
Sure. Voice assistants like Siri or Alexa, they're narrow AI. The recommendation engine on Netflix or Amazon that suggests what you might like, that's narrow AI. Even the spam filter in your email inbox, all highly intelligent within their specific domain, but they can't, suddenly decide to write a novel or compose a symphony.
Got it. Specialized intelligence.
Exactly. And the synergy between big data and this narrow AI is truly remarkable. It forms this powerful feedback loop.
Also.
Well, big data provides the massive, diverse, high-velocity training data sets that are the absolute foundation for AI. Without vast amounts of quality data, AI models simply can't learn effectively. They can't identify patterns. They can't perform their tasks well.
So big data feeds the AI.
Precisely. And in turn, AI makes sense of that vast data. It sifts through all the noise to find meaningful insights, enabling breakthroughs in areas that were previously just impossible for human analysis alone, given the scale and speed.
It finds the patterns humans can't see.
Exactly. It's a symbiotic relationship. Big data fuels AI, and AI unlocks the profound value hidden within big data. And this combination is precisely what's driving the radical shifts and, frankly, the unprecedented opportunities we're seeing in affiliate marketing today.
Okay, so let's transition now from the theoretical underpinnings to a really tangible, real-world example. Our sources provide this concrete case study of what this AI and automation synergy can actually achieve in the affiliate marketing world.
Yeah, this one's pretty eye-opening.
We're talking about an affiliate site that went from literally $0 in revenue to over $3,600 a month.
Yeah.
And this was in just 14 months.
Right. And then it sold.
Then it sold for a staggering $108,000. And the key ingredient, the thing that powered this explosive growth, automated AI content.
What's truly fascinating here is just the sheer speed and the scalability that was demonstrated. Let's look at the numbers for a second.
Okay.
In March 2023, this site was basically a ghost town. 0 articles published, 0 referring domains linking to it, no traffic, no revenue, nothing.
Starting from scratch.
Totally from scratch. Fast forward just 14 months to April 2024. Now it's a thriving hub. It boasts 1,023 articles.
Wow, over 1,000 articles in 14 months.
Yeah, 179 referring domains links from other sites, and importantly, 75 of those were actively built through a specific strategic process we'll get into.
Okay.
It was getting over 216,000 unique visitors per month.
200,000.
and pulling in a monthly revenue of $3,674. This isn't just like slow organic growth, this is explosive, deliberate growth. It really indicates a highly effective, maybe even aggressive strategy focused squarely on leveraging AI for scale.
Okay, so let's unpack the core idea then. What was the main idea behind their blueprint? How did they pull this off?
So the strategy kicked off with a very clear objective: find a niche. But not just any niche, one that had, first, enough search volume, enough people looking for stuff,
Right.
but also, crucially, what they called beatable competition. They weren't trying to take on the absolute giants in the space right away.
They look for weaker spots?
Exactly. They looked for areas where the existing content was maybe thin or outdated or just not very comprehensive, places where they could realistically compete and win.
Okay, smart. Then what?
Then they meticulously focused on identifying content topics that shared a similar replicable article structure.
Replicable. Like a template.
Pretty much, yeah. Think of search queries like, what does X mean and why? The case study used an example like, what does sun mean in tarot? Or what does emperor mean in tarot?
Ah, okay, so you could swap out Sun or Emperor for hundreds of other tarot cards.
Precisely. But this structure could apply to thousands of other topics too, like how does X work in Y, or best product type for specific use case. You find that repeatable pattern.
Got it. Create a formula.
Exactly. This approach allowed them to design an article structure with specific headings, specific subsections, specific types of content needed that could be replicated over literally thousands of articles.
And this is where the AI comes in big time.
This is where the secret sauce comes in, yeah. They devised highly specific, multi-layered AI prompts for each section of these templated articles. Not just one prompt for the whole article, but prompts for the intro, for each heading, for the conclusion.
Really granular.
Very granular. Then they used powerful language models, like the ones behind ChatGPT, and also custom OpenAI scripts, to bulk generate this content based on those prompts.
So feeding the template and the specific topic into the AI.
Right. And the beauty of this process was the output. It resulted in a massive CSV file, a spreadsheet basically. Each row in that spreadsheet represented a complete, structured article, totally ready for publishing.
Wow. So no writing involved, essentially.
Well, no manual writing of the bulk content. The human effort shifted to designing the templates, crafting the prompts, and setting up the system. This entirely bypassed the traditionally slow, very labor-intensive, and expensive process of human content creation, making scale almost effortless once the system was built.
Incredible. So how did they actually implement this? The case study mentioned 3 critical variables for success.
That's right. The content plan, content production, and backlinks. Those were the 3 pillars.
Okay, let's take them one by one. Content plan first. What did that involve?
This was the map to treasure, as the source vividly put it. This was the strategic thinking that absolutely had to happen before any AI generation started.
Foundation.
Exactly. Key elements included a really meticulous niche selection process. As we said, not just search volume. They assessed competition to make sure it was genuinely beatable, meaning competitors had clear weaknesses they could exploit.
Well,
They also confirmed display ad compatibility. Could they run ads on this type of content later? And crucially, they made sure there were enough relevant affiliate programs available.
why was that so important?
Well, for 2 reasons. 1, for near-term profitability, even on a small scale. But 2, for the long-term goal of selling the site. A potential buyer wants to see multiple monetization avenues and growth potential.
Right, makes the asset more valuable.
Definitely. And this niche selection was surprisingly detailed. For a smaller site like this one, they aimed for at least 500,000 combined US-based monthly searches in the niche. For their bigger brands, they'd look for 2 million or more.
That's a lot of searching.
It is, but that number wasn't fixed. It really depended on how tough the competition was. If competition was low, a lower search volume might still be incredibly profitable.
Interesting. So volume adjusted for difficulty.
Pretty much. Beyond just picking the niche, the plan involved identifying those query types with similar article structures, pulling them out into spreadsheets, manually grouping similar ones together, finalizing the ideal article outlines or templates, and then organizing everything into logical categories and subcategories on the site.
So a lot of upfront planning before the AI even got switched on.
A huge amount. This detailed planning ensured that every single piece of AI-generated content served a clear purpose, targeted a specific user need, and fit seamlessly into the site's overall structure and strategy. No wasted content.
Okay, that makes sense. Pillar 2, content production. How did they ensure the AI content was actually any good and good enough to rank?
Right, because just churning out content isn't enough. The goal was content that ranks high in search results that Google actually likes.
$1 million question.
Exactly. And this is where prompt engineering became absolutely critical. It was treated like a craft in itself, and it was highly dependent on intense competitor analysis.
So they looked at what was already ranking.
Meticulously. They would analyze the tone, the structure, the flow, the general outline of competitor articles that were already doing well for the target keywords.
And then copy them.
Not exactly copied. They'd then craft sophisticated prompts designed to generate something as close but better.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Similar but improved.
That was the key. Be superior, maybe more comprehensive, maybe clearer, maybe fresher information, but not too radically different from what Google was already rewarding in the search results. The idea was that Google would recognize the format and relevance, but see their version as the superior option.
So you're reverse engineering Google's preferences in a way.
That's a good way to put it. And this wasn't just typing, write an article about X into ChatGPT. No, we're talking iterative, multi-layered prompting. For that, what does X mean and why structure, for instance, you might have one specific prompt just for generating a concise definition, another prompt for the historical context section, a third for practical applications, and then maybe even a meta prompt that takes all those pieces, orchestrates them, refines the language, ensures a consistent tone throughout, adds internal links automatically, and maybe crafts a clear call to action at the end.
Wow, that's complex. Like being a conductor for an AI orchestra, as you said earlier.
That's a great analogy. You're guiding multiple AI processes to produce a single, harmonious, and effective piece of content scaled across thousands of articles.
Okay, so they generate this mountain of content in a CSV file. How do they get it onto the website? Doing that manually would take forever.
Right. The sheer scale demanded more automation. They utilized WordPress plugins specifically designed for bulk importing, like WP All Import. These tools allowed them to take that massive master CSV file and bulk publish thousands of articles, perfectly formatted, in a matter of seconds or minutes.
Seconds?
Yep, literally. It automates what would otherwise be a monumental, human-intensive task, taking potentially months of work down to almost nothing. This enables that truly rapid deployment of content on a scale that was previously just unimaginable.
Mind-blowing efficiency. Okay, so content plan, content production. What was the third pillar?
The third and absolutely critical pillar was backlinks.
Right, you mentioned this. Okay, let's unpack this properly. They didn't just throw up all this AI content and hope for the best, right? They didn't just rely on Google finding it.
Not at all. Backlinks were an absolutely critical, intentional part of this success story. It was a core component of their financial outlay and their overall strategy.
And the case study mentioned specifics. 75 backlinks, average cost $110 each.
That's right. So doing the math, that's a significant investment, over $8,000 just on links.
Yeah, that sounds like a potential point of failure for many people trying this. What
Yeah.
made their backlink strategy effective? Because we all know you can just throw money at links and get absolutely nowhere, or worse, get penalized by Google.
That's a critical distinction, and you hit the nail on the head. It all came down to their strict quality criteria for those links.
Okay, what were they looking for?
What I find particularly intriguing here is that it wasn't just about chasing sites with a high domain rating, or DR, which is a common metric, but often a misguided strategy if that's all you look at.
Right, a high DR doesn't guarantee quality.
Exactly. Their criteria were far more granular. First, niche relevance was paramount. The site linking to them had to be genuinely related to their topic. Made sense.
Okay.
Second, it needed to have real search traffic. Specifically, they looked for sites getting more than 250 unique visitors per month, according to Ahrefs, a popular SEO tool.
Why that metric?
It signals a legitimate active site. It's not just a dead site or a spam farm set up purely to sell links. It shows real people are visiting it.
Got it. What else?
The links had to be content-based, meaning embedded naturally within a relevant article on the linking site, not just stuck in a footer or a directory listing.
More natural looking.
Much more natural, yeah. They also needed to be do-follow links, which means they pass SEO value, or link juice, as it's sometimes called. They had to be permanent, not temporary rentals. And crucially, they needed to use relevant anchor text.
Anchor text being the clickable words in the link.
Exactly. The anchor text needed to accurately describe the page it was linking to on their site, helping Google understand the context.
So they were clearly avoiding the common pitfalls of just buying cheap, low-quality links from anywhere.
Absolutely. It seems the expert behind this case study strongly warned against buying links from those high DR sites that have zero actual traffic or maybe a history of selling spammy links. Those can do way more harm than good and can lead to severe Google penalties.
Right. It really highlights the level of diligence required, even when you're using automation and scaling things up. You can't automate the quality control on link building, it seems.
Not entirely, no. And it absolutely brings up that constant tension we mentioned, the tension between Google's strict guidelines, which say don't pay for links that pass value, and the practical, often perceived necessary strategies that some players use to actually rank and compete in really tough niches.
So how did they structure the link building? Did they just point all 75 links at the homepage?
No, they had a strategy there too. Initially, they focused on building links primarily to the homepage and the main category pages. They aimed for about 20, 30 links total across these core pages after they had published around 5 articles per category.
Building foundational authority first.
Exactly. Build the overall site authority and trust.
Yeah.
Only later, maybe 8 to 12 months into the process, once content production was well underway and some pages were starting to rank organically, then they would start building more page-specific links. These were targeted links aimed at boosting individual articles that were already performing moderately well, maybe showing up on page 1 or page 2 of Google search results, giving them that final nudge to the top spots.
So a layered approach. Broad authority first, then targeted boosts later. That makes strategic sense. Optimizes the investment. Okay, let's talk about the bottom line then. The financial outcome. The numbers here are pretty compelling, you said. They demonstrate a massive return on investment.
They really do. And they tracked the expenses meticulously.
So what were the costs again?
They spent $7,500 on content, and that figure included everything. The API tokens for the AI models, the time spent on rigorous competitor research, designing those optimal article structures, crafting all those specific prompts, and the actual cost of bulk publishing around 1.5 million words of AI-generated content.
1.5 million words for $7,500. That's incredibly cheap compared to human writers.
Orders of magnitude cheaper, yeah. Then another $8,250 went directly towards acquiring those 75 high-quality paid backlinks we just discussed.
Okay.
And roughly $1,000 was allocated for other administrative costs, things like website hosting, maybe a premium theme, some minor software tools.
So adding that up, $7,500 plus $8,250 plus other $1,000. That brings their total expenses over the 14 months to $16,750.
Yep, a surprisingly lean $16,750 investment to build the entire asset.
Okay, that's the cost side. What about the return?
The return tells a profoundly different story. During that same 14-month period, the site generated $9,728.69 from a combination of affiliate commissions and display advertising earnings.
Okay, so almost $10 in revenue while they were building it. That nearly covered the costs.
Almost, yeah. But the real game changer, the big payoff, was the private sale of the site. They sold it for a monumental $108,000.
Wow, $108,000 on top of the revenue earned.
Exactly. So their total return was the $9,728.69 in earnings plus the $108,000 sale price, which comes to $117,728.69.
Okay, so $117,728 revenue minus $16,750 expenses.
That resulted in a net profit of a staggering $100,978.69.
Over $100,000 profit in 14 months.
Yep. And if you calculate the return on investment, that's a 602% ROI in just 14 months, which is just phenomenal in pretty much any business context, let alone online marketing.
602%.
Yep.
Yeah, that's incredible. It really underscores the efficiency and the scalability that AI, when used strategically, can bring to the table.
Absolutely.
So what does this all mean for the way forward then? What's the broader market reality this case study points to?
Well, the fundamental shift highlighted in the case study seems crystal clear. Producing content at scale for brands, especially for SEO purposes, became prohibitively expensive using traditional human writers.
Just too slow and costly.
Exactly. It was literally killing large-scale SEO projects because the costs were just unsustainable and the time frames were too long. AI, when implemented with a sophisticated strategy like this, allowed for faster, cheaper, more scalable, and perhaps surprisingly, potentially higher quality content when judged by its ability to rank and satisfy specific search intents.
Right, quality defined differently. Not necessarily literary prose, but precise, scaled relevance.
That's a great way to put it. The real insight here, I think, is that AI isn't just replacing human writers job for job in this context. It's enabling a completely new paradigm of content creation focused on efficiency, structure, and scale for specific goals like SEO.
And the goal for the person behind this case study is just more of this.
Pretty much, yeah. Scale this portfolio even further. The source mentioned they actually manage over 41 websites now, with an estimated total value around $8 million.
Wow, $8 million portfolio.
And these smaller projects, like the 108K site we just discussed, are essentially test projects. They use them to experiment with new strategies, refine their processes for AI content, link building, monetization, and then they take the successful strategies and implement them on their much larger, higher value sites in the portfolio. It's a continuous cycle of testing, learning, and scaling.
So this really makes you wonder, though, about the inherent volatility of the SEO landscape, doesn't it?
Absolutely. The expert in our case study openly describes their overall strategy as operating in a gray area of SEO.
We keep coming back to this gray area, paying for links.
Right. They explicitly state that they pay for backlinks, which, as we've said, Google's guidelines strictly prohibit if those links pass PageRank or SEO value.
Right.
However, they draw a very clear line, a differentiation from what they consider true black hat tactics.
Okay, remind us of that distinction again. What's black hat in their view?
Things like using private blog networks, or PBNs, which are entire networks of websites created solely to manipulate link equity and rankings, often using expired domains with faked content, or things like negative SEO, where you actively try to harm a competitor's ranking by pointing spammy links at their site.
Right, actively malicious or deceptive stuff.
Exactly. Think of Black Hat as trying to actively trick search engines or exploit loopholes and vulnerabilities. This includes practices like cloaking, showing users one version of a page and search engine bots completely different one, or using automated software to blast spam comments with links across the web, or building vast networks of low-quality, often irrelevant sites purely to generate links.
Okay. And paying for a link on a real site is
Right.
different.
In their view, and in the view of many in the industry, yes, it's different. While it's still a clear guideline violation, paying for a link is generally seen as gray because it's typically a direct transaction for what is, hopefully, a legitimate link placed within real content on a real established website. It doesn't usually involve setting up deceptive site structures or spam farms designed purely to manipulate rankings algorithmically.
So it's more of a calculated risk within the competitive landscape rather than outright deception or malicious intent towards competitors or search engines.
That's generally the perspective, yes. The reality is, for many highly competitive niches online, paying for high-quality backlinks is seen by some practitioners as a practical necessity to compete effectively against others who are likely doing the same thing. It's a constant battle.
It also highlights that even with all this automation, success isn't guaranteed or easy. It relies on a huge team.
That's another key point. The expert mentioned having a team of 93 people.
93 people for these automated sites.
Yep. Even with highly automated processes for content generation and publishing, the success of this large-scale operation hinges on a massive, specialized human team. This includes researchers finding niches and keywords, administrators managing the sites, web developers building and maintaining the infrastructure, writers who still edit and refine the AI output for quality and nuance, and dedicated quality assurance specialists checking everything.
So specialization is still absolutely key, even when you're scaling with AI. Automation doesn't remove the need for skilled humans. It just changes their roles.
Precisely. It shifts the focus from manual execution to strategic oversight, process design, quality control, and managing the automation itself.
Okay, so we've just seen this incredibly detailed case study showing how AI can drive explosive growth and value, fundamentally reshaping content creation for SEO. But AI's utility in affiliate marketing, as our sources suggest, extends far beyond just bulk content generation, right?
Oh, absolutely. Our academic sources identify several overarching advantages that apply across the entire affiliate ecosystem. They boil down to three main benefits. AI saves affiliate marketers significant time through automation of repetitive tasks.
Makes sense.
It supports decision-making by providing relevant, data-driven insights that humans, frankly, just couldn't uncover at that scale or speed.
Finding those hidden patterns again.
Exactly. And third, it can actually help incentivize publishers more effectively by ensuring fairer compensation and delivering more optimized, relevant offers, which ultimately creates a more harmonious and effective channel for everyone involved, the advertiser, the publisher, and even the network.
Okay, so time saving, better decisions, better incentives. Where specifically is AI being applied?
Mhm.
The research points to key areas.
Yeah, the research identifies 5 key areas where AI can be profoundly beneficial, really streamlining operations and maximizing profitability. The first one is affiliate recruitment.
Finding good partners.
Exactly. Historically, finding the right partners, affiliates who genuinely align with your brand, who have a quality audience that matches yours, and who can actually drive conversions that's been an incredibly labor-intensive and often subjective process. Sifting through thousands of applications or websites,
Yeah, sounds tedious. How does AI help?
AI can automate the initial screening of potentially thousands of applicants by applying predefined internal criteria. Things like checking the website's language, the type of content it produces, assessing the overall quality of the site, estimating traffic volume using third-party data, and checking for crucial brand alignment factors.
So it does the first pass, filtering out the obvious mismatches.
Precisely. It's a huge time saver right there, especially for large affiliate programs that might get hundreds of applications a week.
AI also excels at building extensive lists of potential partners that haven't applied yet, maybe by scraping the web or analyzing competitor backlinks.
Proactive recruitment. Right. It can perform detailed gap analyses to identify maybe underserved niches or missing audience segments in your current affiliate base. And it can even go as far as customizing recruitment emails automatically, using NLP to personalize the outreach message based on potential affiliate's website content or audience, trying to maximize the effectiveness of that outreach.
Wow, that saves immense manual effort in just discovering and contacting potential partners, especially if you're trying to scale your program significantly.
Totally. But what I find particularly intriguing here, and the sources emphasize this, is that while AI can efficiently generate these lists and even draft highly personalized emails, the human touch remains absolutely critical for the final stages.
Why is that? Can't the AI do it all?
Not quite yet, and maybe not ever entirely. The sources stress that manual vetting by a human affiliate manager is essential. They need to ensure partners truly meet all the requirements. Things like having the correct advertising disclosures visible, complying with specific regional regulations like GDPR or FTC rules, or ensuring factual accuracy in their content, especially for sensitive niches like finance or health. And AI might miss those nuances.
Right. AI is great for an initial filtering and outreach scaling, but human oversight is needed for quality control, brand safety, compliance, and ultimately building a genuine relationship with the affiliate.
Exactly. AI provides a powerful starting point, but the human ensures the quality and manages the relationship.
Okay, so recruitment is area one. What's the second area AI impacts?
The second area is affiliate management. Once affiliates are actually on board, managing them efficiently and effectively is paramount to long-term success, especially if you have hundreds or thousands of them.
Keeping them engaged and performing.
Right. AI can help here by drafting and personalizing messages for massive pools of partners simultaneously. Things like newsletters with new offers, performance updates, or reminders about program terms.
So freeing up the human managers again.
Precisely. It frees up the human affiliate managers to focus their valuable time and energy on nurturing the high-value key accounts, those top-performing affiliates who really deserve more strategic, high-touch interaction and relationship building.
Makes sense. Prioritize human effort where it matters most.
Exactly. And natural language processing, or NLP, that branch of AI focused on understanding and generating human language, can play a significant role here too. It can analyze past successful communications to figure out what works best. It might even identify what specific phrasing, incentives, or types of offers resonate most with a particular publisher or type of publisher to get them excited about promoting an offer.
Tailoring communication at scale.
Yeah. Furthermore, AI can act as an incredibly sophisticated performance analysis tool, almost like an early warning system. It can automatically monitor performance data and alert marketers to both underperforming and, interestingly, overperforming publishers, much faster than a human could manually sift through reports. It flags trends or anomalies that might take weeks to spot otherwise.
So you can jump on problems or opportunities faster.
Exactly. But it often goes deeper than just flagging. Some AI tools can even help identify the potential reasons behind these fluctuations.
Really? Like what?
For example, it might correlate a drop in performance with the emergence of a new, cheaper competitor in the market, or maybe changes the advertiser made to their product offers, or even external factors like seasonality or news events. This allows for incredibly proactive intervention. Businesses can address issues before they become critical or capitalize on unexpected positive trends with remarkable speed.
That proactive insight seems incredibly valuable,
Right.
which leads us directly, I guess, to the third application area you mentioned.
It does. Number 3 is product data feed optimization.
Product data feeds. Those big files with all the product info.
Exactly. This is a major, often overlooked challenge, particularly for advertisers with large inventories. Manually creating and, more importantly, continuously updating these product data feeds, which are often large Excel spreadsheets or XML files containing product titles, prices, images, descriptions, stock levels, all those attributes, it's incredibly time-consuming and very prone to errors.
Yeah, I can imagine. Prices change, stock runs out.
All the time.
Yeah.
Yet these feeds are absolutely crucial for publishers. They need accurate, up-to-date information to select the right offers for their specific audience and display correct details on their site. If the feed is wrong, they might promote out-of-stock products or show incorrect prices, which kills conversions and trust.
So how does AI solve this headache?
AI offers a potentially transformative solution here. By accessing and analyzing vast amounts of customer behavioral data, everything from click streams on the advertiser site, purchase history, search queries people use, browsing patterns, AI can detect incredibly meaningful patterns about what products resonate with which audiences. This allows it to create highly customized product data feeds. Instead of sending the same massive feed with 10,000 products to every single affiliate, AI can tailor the feed.
So delivering only the most relevant products to each specific publisher.
Exactly. For example, a price comparison site might automatically receive a feed optimized just for the lowest prices on electronics. A high-end fashion blogger might get a feed highlighting only premium features, new season arrivals, and designer brands. A niche hobby site might get only products related to that specific hobby.
That makes so much sense. Reduces the noise for the publisher.
Totally. This granular customization streamlines the publisher's selection process, dramatically reduces their manual effort in sifting through irrelevant products, and significantly maximizes their conversion potential because they're showing the most relevant offers to their audience. It makes the entire ecosystem far more efficient and targeted.
Okay, that's powerful. What's next on the list? Area number 4.
Number 4 gets into something really fundamental and often contentious: tracking and attribution, the fair play challenge.
The who gets credit for the sale problem.
Precisely. This is a truly monumental issue in affiliate marketing, often leading to friction, disputes, and fundamentally unfair compensation structures. The traditional model, which is still widely used, is called last-click attribution.
Where only the very last click before the sale
Yeah,
gets 100% of the credit and the commission.
that's the one. And it fundamentally undervalues all the earlier touch points in the customer journey. It completely fails to reflect the complex reality of how customers actually behave.
Especially now with people using multiple devices.
Exactly. In today's multi-device world, the journey is rarely linear. Imagine a customer. They first discover a product reading a review on a content site on their laptop. Later, they do some research comparing options on their tablet. Maybe they get a reminder email on their phone a few days later. And then finally, they click a voucher code link on a different site and make the purchase back on their laptop.
Right. Under last click, only that final voucher site gets the commission, even though the content site and the email played a huge role in influencing the purchase.
Exactly. The content site that did the initial education gets nothing. The email that provided the nudge gets nothing. It disincentivizes those crucial upper funnel activities.
So how does AI tackle this? Cross-device tracking is part of it.
Cross-device tracking is a key piece of the puzzle, yes. AI, particularly techniques from supervised machine learning, can help recognize user patterns across different devices.
How does it do that? Magic.
Not quite magic, but clever pattern recognition. It analyzes behavioral similarities. Do they browse the same types of sites? Use similar search terms. It might look at IP addresses, though those can be unreliable. Login data if the user is logged into accounts across devices, device IDs, browser fingerprints. Trying to piece together signals that suggest the same user is interacting across a tablet, a mobile phone, and a laptop, for example.
To create a more complete picture of that single customer journey.
That's the goal. However, our sources do note that while there are pioneering studies and technologies attempting this, achieving truly precise, real-world accuracy at scale is still very challenging. It needs a lot more data, better algorithms.
And privacy concerns, I imagine.
Huge privacy concerns, which we'll definitely dig into later. It's a major hurdle.
Okay, so cross-device tracking is tricky but important. But You said AI enables better attribution models overall.
Yes, and this is where it gets really interesting, and where AI truly starts to reshape the concept of fair play in affiliate marketing. Instead of just crediting the last click, AI enables much more sophisticated multi-touch attribution models.
Models that give credit to more than one touch point.
Exactly. These models move beyond focusing on a single interaction and aim to assign credit or value to all the contributing interactions along the customer's path to purchase.
What kinds of models are there?
There are several common ones. A linear model, for example, gives equal credit to every single touch point in the chain. Simple, but maybe not realistic.
Right.
A U-shaped model gives more weight to the very first touch, the discovery, and the very last touch, the conversion, splitting the rest among the middle interactions.
Kind of acknowledges the importance of introduction and closing.
Right. A time decay model gives more credit to touch points that happened closer to the final conversion, assuming recent interactions were more influential.
Makes sense too.
A position-based model is popular. It might give, say, 40% of the credit to the first touch, 40% to the last touch, and then divide the remaining 20% evenly among all the touch points in between.
A bit like the U-shaped, but distributing the middle differently.
Exactly. And crucially, AI allows for truly custom models. Advertisers can analyze their own data, understand their specific customer journeys, and build a model tailored to their business goals and how they value different types of affiliate contributions. Maybe they want to heavily reward content creators, or maybe early-stage influencers. AI makes that possible.
So these models ensure a far fairer distribution of commissions, actually reflecting the real influence of each affiliate along the way.
That's the promise, yes. Rewarding the influencers, the educators, the comparison sites, and the final converters based on the role they played.
Is anyone actually doing this? Is there a real-world example?
Absolutely. A fantastic, pioneering example from our sources is Trade Tracker's Real Attribution. This was an AI-powered technology they launched way back in 2017. It truly revolutionized how commissions could be structured in their network.
How'd it work?
It allowed advertisers on their platform to move beyond last click and reward publishers based on different factors.
Yeah.
They could reward based on position in the journey, differentiating between the first touch initiator and the final converter. They could reward based on the affiliate's type, for example, choosing to prioritize valuable content sites over voucher sites that just capture that final click. Or they could even reward based on the category of product the affiliate influenced the sale of.
Giving advertisers real control over how commissions were allocated based on their strategic priorities.
Exactly. It put the power in their hands to define what value meant to them.
And did it actually make a difference? What did the data show?
This is where it gets really compelling. Trade Tracker's data showed a profound impact after advertisers started implementing real attribution. The average number of touch points leading to a single transaction significantly increased. It went from 2.43 touch points to 3.16 touch points.
So customers were interacting more before buying, or at least more interactions are being credited.
Right. And the average number of different publishers involved in a single customer journey jumped from 1.9 publishers to 2.7 publishers.
More affiliates getting a piece of the pie for each sale.
Exactly. And the average number of different site types involved, like content versus voucher versus email, went from 1.4 to 2.1. That's a massive increase in measured collaborative influence.
Wow, so it really did encourage more collaboration.
That was the key outcome. It encouraged this powerful mind shift among publishers. Instead of fiercely fighting each other just for that valuable last click, they were now incentivized to cooperate and contribute value at various stages of the funnel, knowing they'd be fairly rewarded for their influence, regardless of whether they were the first touch, a middle touch, or the last touch.
It sounds like a much healthier ecosystem. Smoother journey for the customer too, presumably.
Absolutely. It led to a much smoother customer journey because affiliates were working together rather than competing destructively, which resulted in better overall performance for the advertisers as well. It fostered a more collaborative and sustainable environment.
Okay, that's a really positive application of AI. What was the fifth key area?
The fifth key area identified by the research is forecasting.
Predicting the future.
In a way, yes. This is where AI moves beyond just analyzing what happened in the past to actually predicting what's likely to happen in the future. It provides powerful tools to predict things like product demand, but personalized down to the level of each individual affiliate partner.
How does that work?
Imagine an affiliate network's AI analyzing historical sales patterns, real-time behavioral data, seasonality, maybe even external factors like upcoming holidays or economic trends. Based on all of that, it could predict that, say, a specific content publisher's audience is highly likely to be interested in buying eco-friendly pet products within the next 3 weeks.
Wow, that's specific.
Potentially, yes. AI can forecast that demand, not just generally for the market, but for that specific affiliate and their unique audience.
What can advertisers do with that information?
It's incredibly powerful for strategic planning. They could proactively adjust commission rates for that affiliate for that product category during that period. They could provide them with a highly targeted product feed featuring just those eco-friendly pet products. They could even work with the affiliate to create an exclusive campaign or offer specifically for that predicted demand spike.
So optimizing marketing spend before the demand even fully materializes.
Exactly. It allows advertisers and networks to optimize every dollar spent, significantly boosting conversion rates and ROI for both sides. This kind of insight allows for proactive strategic planning and decision-making aimed at hitting higher key performance indicators, KPIs, rather than just reacting to sales data after the fact.
Okay, we've seen the really impressive numbers from the case study, the strategic advantages AI brings across recruitment, management, attribution. It sounds incredibly powerful, but, this naturally leads us to ask, is all this AI content, this automation, inherently risky?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Our sources definitely bring up some critical concerns that you absolutely need to be aware of. It really seems like a double-edged sword.
It really does. While that case study showed immense success and a 602% ROI, there's a strong counterargument from many other industry experts and sources. They issue some serious warnings. Well, specifically about using large language models, the LLMs, like ChatGPT, to just spin up content for what's called programmatic SEO, creating thousands of pages automatically at massive scale. Some experts warn that this can actually burn perfectly good, quality websites if not done with extreme care.
Burn them how? Get them penalized.
Exactly. It can lead to severe penalties from search engines like Google. And there's this sense of déjà vu for some. It feels eerily reminiscent of those older article spinner tactics from the, early 2000s.
Oh, yeah, I remember those. Software that just rephrased existing articles, often creating nonsense.
Right. Low quality, often nonsensical, barely readable, duplicated content was mass-produced, and it led to widespread site de-indexing and penalties back then. The concern is that history might repeat itself with AI if people aren't careful.
But the case study claimed their AI content was indistinguishable from human-written content with careful prompt engineering.
And that might be true in some cases, with enough effort and refinement. But the underlying risk remains. Even with sophisticated prompts, ensuring consistent quality, factual accuracy, unique phrasing, and genuine helpfulness across thousands of automatically generated articles is incredibly difficult. The risk of lower overall quality, subtle duplication, or just thin, unhelpful content is still a significant concern for Google.
Because Google keeps saying it prioritizes helpful, original content written by experts, the EEAT guidelines.
Exactly. Experience, expertise, authoritativeness, trustworthiness. It's hard to argue that bulk AI content inherently demonstrates deep experience or expertise in the same way a human expert might. So even if it looks okay, there's a risk Google's algorithms will eventually devalue it. It's a fine line, and it seems very difficult to walk consistently at massive scale without tripping up.
And there's another major looming concern for anyone relying on search traffic, especially affiliates. Google AI overviews.
Yeah, this is a big one, a potential existential threat for some.
Explain that. What are AI overviews again?
Those are the direct answer boxes or the summarized results that Google's AI is increasingly generating and placing right at the very top of the search results page, above the traditional blue links.
Ah, right, giving the answer directly on Google.
Exactly. Now, imagine this scenario. If Google's own AI overviews start generating comprehensive answers to informational queries, or compiling product comparisons, or even creating lists of the latest coupon codes directly within that box.
Then why would anyone click through to an affiliate site?
Precisely. If the user gets the information they need or finds the best deal right there on the Google results page itself, there's simply no reason for them to click through to an external affiliate website.
Which would absolutely decimate traffic for those sites.
It could drastically decrease traffic, especially for sites whose entire model is built on answering those specific types of queries or aggregating deals. Think about informational what-is sites, or basic product comparison tables, or coupon aggregators. If Google provides that directly, their value proposition is severely undermined, directly impacting their revenue.
That sounds terrifying for people in those niches.
It's a major source of anxiety in the SEO and affiliate world right now, definitely.
And this brings us squarely back to the volatile nature of SEO itself, doesn't it? Even without AI overviews, the ground is always shifting.
Absolutely. The reality is, search engine optimization is inherently, fundamentally volatile. Google is constantly updating its algorithms. Sometimes they announce major core updates that can shake up rankings across the board. Other times, there are smaller, more targeted updates, like the helpful content updates, designed specifically to reward original, satisfying content and penalize sites that seem created just to rank.
So strategies that worked great last month could get you penalized this month.
It happens all the time. Strategies that were immensely successful yesterday can lead to sudden penalties or complete derankings tomorrow. It's just the nature of the beast.
So how do people, like the expert in the case study, deal with that constant risk?
Well, the expert in our case study openly acknowledged this volatility. They actually said something like, everything with SEO that actually works is risky.
That's quite a statement.
It is. So their strategic approach, therefore, isn't about finding some foolproof, unchanging formula that will work forever. It's about being incredibly agile.
Agile how?
Their philosophy seems to be milk the cow as much as possible with the strategies that are currently working effectively, even if they're in that gray area. But at the same time, be ready to adapt quickly the moment Google policies or algorithms change, or when new threats like AI overviews emerge, and be prepared to continuously pivot to new methodologies, new niches, new traffic sources.
So constant vigilance and adaptation is key.
That rapid adaptation and, frankly, a willingness to embrace calculated risk is what they attribute to building and maintaining their multi-million-dollar portfolio. It's a high-stakes game of continuous innovation, testing, and risk management. You can't stand still.
Which also circles back again to that gray area of practice we keep bumping into.
Right. The fact that paying for backlinks, while maybe not explicitly black hat like building a PBN designed purely for manipulation, is also clearly not allowed by Google if the intent is to boost rankings. It just highlights this practical reality.
A reality where guidelines and practice diverge.
Exactly. For many practitioners, especially in hyper-competitive niches, paying for high-quality links is considered a practical necessity to even have a chance of ranking against competitors who are almost certainly doing the same thing, or maybe even more aggressive tactics. This creates this constant tension between Google's ideal guidelines for a pure web and the very real, often messy tactics used by those trying to gain a competitive edge and run a profitable business. It's a calculated gamble on how far one can push those boundaries without attracting unwanted attention or penalties.
It sounds stressful.
It certainly can be.
And what's fascinating here is how these aggressive, sometimes gray area SEO strategies, especially those relying on AI and big data, start to intersect with much broader privacy concerns and regulatory frameworks.
Yes, that's a huge intersection. Specifically, the ability to do sophisticated cross-device tracking, which we talked about as being powerful for attribution. Well, it obviously raises significant privacy issues. How do you track someone across their phone, tablet, and laptop without invading their privacy?
Right. How is that regulated?
The European GDPR, the General Data Protection Regulation, is a prime example of strong regulation in this area. It sets out strict rules for data collection and processing. It clearly defines roles like data controllers, who decide why and how data is processed, and processors, who process data on behalf of the controller.
And it requires consent, right?
Crucially, yes, GDPR mandates clear, unambiguous, affirmative consent from users for collecting and sharing their personal data. No more pre-tick boxes hidden in the terms and conditions, or just assuming consent if someone uses your website. Users must actively, explicitly agree to specific data uses.
Which sounds like it could create a monumental consent challenge for businesses that rely on tracking user behavior.
Absolutely. Our sources cite studies suggesting that when faced with a clear, detailed consent request that might explicitly ask permission to combine browsing habits across devices, or infer income bracket from online activity, or analyze social media influence, a vast majority of users will likely just say no. They'll decline that level of detailed data sharing.
And if most people say no,
then it could drastically impact the volume and, importantly, the richness of the behavioral data available for both publishers and advertisers. This could potentially limit the effectiveness of many AI applications, particularly those used for hyper-personalization, targeted advertising, and complex attribution modeling, because those systems rely on having deep behavioral insights. Less data, less effective AI.
Interesting. So privacy regulations could actually put the brakes on some of these AI advancements in marketing.
It's certainly possible, or at least force them to evolve in more privacy-preserving ways. And if we connect this to the bigger picture, GDPR and similar regulations could fundamentally shift the power dynamics within the entire affiliate industry.
Also,
Well, if obtaining user consent becomes paramount, and publishers are the ones interacting directly with the users on their websites, they effectively become the primary custodians of that user consent.
they hold the keys to the data kingdom.
Kind of, yeah. And this potentially gives them significant leverage in negotiations with advertisers and networks. They could use this leverage to renegotiate commission models, demanding fairer splits. They could challenge the traditional last-click payment standard more effectively, arguing that they deserve compensation for upper funnel influence, especially if they are the ones securing the consent needed for tracking that influence.
So it could empower publishers, especially those with strong user trust.
It definitely could. It's a move towards greater transparency and user control over data, but it also presents a significant challenge for businesses whose models have been built on the assumption of readily available, extensive user data collected perhaps without explicit granular consent.
It really makes you wonder, too, given how quickly AI is advancing, its technical complexity and its potential for creating incredibly realistic but potentially misleading content or enabling invasive tracking, is regulation keeping up?
That's a major concern. Our sources highlight a strong and growing call for expert-led organizations or bodies to step in and help verify AI program safety and establish clear lines of intervention authority.
Why expert-led, not governments?
The argument is that legislators often lack the deep technical expertise needed to truly understand AI's capabilities, its potential threats, and how to regulate it effectively without stifling innovation. The fear is they might create rules that are either ineffective or overly broad.
So delegate policy development to AI experts from academia or industry who actually understand the tech?
That's the idea being floated. Having experts guide the development of standards, safety protocols, and regulations could significantly impact how AI is developed, deployed, and ultimately utilized in sensitive areas like advertising, content generation, and data analysis. The goal is to ensure it remains a tool for progress rather than becoming a source of widespread misinformation, manipulation, or privacy violations.
Very tricky balancing act.
Incredibly tricky.
So given all this volatility, the SEO risks, the AI overview threat, the regulatory uncertainty, the privacy concerns, what are the really savvy affiliate marketers doing to protect themselves? Is there a foolproof strategy?
Well, foolproof might be too strong a word in this game.
Fair enough. A more robust strategy, perhaps?
Yes. To mitigate these inherent risks, particularly the reliance on volatile search engines like Google and the potential impact of penalties or algorithmic shifts, the really savvy affiliate marketers are focusing heavily on a proactive strategy. Aggressive first-party data collection.
Meaning collecting data directly from their own audience.
Exactly. This means actively collecting things like email addresses through newsletter signups, lead magnets, or gated content. It means using tools like the Facebook Pixel, while respecting consent, to build retargeting audiences from their website visitors.
Creating their own gold mine of data, as one source put it.
Precisely. This first-party data they collect directly with user consent, becomes an incredibly valuable asset, one they own and control, independent of Google or other platforms.
And what can they do with this data?
It allows for powerful direct engagement. They can run highly targeted email marketing campaigns to their subscriber list. They can use the pixel data for retargeting ads on social media or other ad networks, bringing visitors back to their site. They can build lookalike audiences to find new potential customers.
So it reduces their reliance on constantly winning the SEO lottery.
Significantly. If their website is ever penalized by Google, or if organic traffic plummets due to something like AI overviews, they still have a direct line of communication to their audience through their email list and retargeting pools. They can still drive traffic, promote offers, remonetize their audience, and pivot their strategies. It effectively de-risks their investments and provides a much more stable foundation for long-term business viability, regardless of what the algorithms are doing on any given day. Building that direct relationship and owned audience is becoming increasingly critical. Hashtag type tag outro.
Wow. Okay, we have covered a ton of ground today. We've just taken a truly deep dive into this fascinating and, yeah, sometimes precarious world where artificial intelligence meets affiliate marketing.
It's definitely a complex landscape.
We went from that staggering 602% ROI in the real-world case study, which really demonstrated the sheer power of automation for content generation and scaling. to the much broader academic insights on how AI can revolutionize basically everything else, from affiliate recruitment and management to much more precise tracking and, crucially, fairer attribution models that could fundamentally reshape how influence is actually valued online.
But we also had to confront the critical risks, didn't we? The inherent volatility of SEO, the constant threat of Google updates, the real controversies around AI content quality, and whether it can truly replace human expertise long term. Not to mention that looming shadow of Google's own AI overviews, potentially reshaping traffic flow in dramatic ways.
And the huge challenges around privacy regulations like GDPR, which could fundamentally alter data availability and maybe even shift the power dynamics within the industry towards publishers who control consent. It's this landscape of immense opportunity, but man, one that demands constant vigilance and adaptation.
Absolutely.
So after digging through all of this, what stands out most to you? What's the big takeaway?
For me, it's clear that while AI offers these really unprecedented opportunities for efficiency and scale, true sustainable success in this space still seems to hinge on a very delicate balance.
A balance between tech and humans.
Exactly. It's about leveraging AI's incredible analytical power and its automation capabilities for the things it does best, processing data, scaling tasks, finding patterns. But crucially, maintaining essential human oversight for the things humans do best. Strategic planning, creative thinking, building genuine relationships with partners, making ethical judgments, and navigating these constantly shifting regulatory and market currents.
So it's not AI or humans, but AI and humans working together.
I think that has to be the path forward. It's about adapting, constantly innovating, and always, always learning, because the rules of this game are clearly changing faster than ever before.
Yeah, absolutely. Which leaves us with a final provocative thought for you, the listener, to mull over.
As AI continues its relentless march, becoming ever more sophisticated, capable of creating content that might soon be truly indistinguishable from human writing, capable of analyzing vast oceans of our behavioral data to predict our needs and desires with uncanny accuracy, what will be the ultimate impact on the very nature of online content and consumption?
Will the internet evolve into this hyper-personalized, maybe ultra-efficient marketplace, tailored perfectly to each individual? Or is there a risk that the relentless pursuit of profit and automation leads us to an information landscape that feels increasingly, well, automated, sterile, and maybe less authentic, less human?
How will you, as a consumer, as a creator, as a marketer, navigate this rapidly emerging new digital frontier?
Something to think about until our next deep dive.